Muted.
Join us on today's training session. As I mentioned, today I'm going to be working on integration partner imports, as well as using Excel to import positions into our system. So just to get started, you should all be familiar with this, the AdvisoryWorld home screen. In order to import things using integration partners, it'd be as simple as clicking on this import icon right under the Analytical Illustrations tab. You'll then be asked to select your import source if you're selected or set up with multiple import partners. In my case here, I do have a few mock import partners set up. So just for example, unfortunately I don't have a live feed with Orion, but it would be as simple as selecting the import partner, clicking import, and then you'll notice this prompt comes up in the background. As I said, I'm not set up with Orion currently, but you would basically have a list of all of your householded clients. And it would be as simple as checking the box next to import and then selecting OK to import that client account. Again, all of the imports are done via integration partner by clicking import here, selecting the integration partner, and then clicking import. To get more information on our integration partners, you can simply go to our website, AdvisoryWorld.com, and on the Partnering tab, there is an Integrated Technology Partners link. Here you'll notice we have all of our integration partners laid out. And for example, if I wanted to get the Redtail setup guide, it would be as simple as clicking on the Redtail icon and downloading either the quick brochure or the setup guide. And I have the instructions on how to get my Redtail and AdvisoryWorld Scanalytics accounts all synced up here. Now you'll notice we do have this for all of our integration partners, so all of the information is available here. If you have any specific case use examples or specific questions about this, feel free to reach out to myself or the support team here at AdvisoryWorld. We'll be happy to work with you and get your integration up and running. So again, importing using an integration partner, simply click on the import button, select the integration partner, and click import. Now another scenario that comes up is importing client accounts or client holdings using an Excel spreadsheet. In that case, it would be as simple as clicking on New Hypothetical to begin a new illustration. Then you would simply click on Import, this Import button here, and you would download one of 3 templates. I would suggest using the basic value template. At that point, what you would be able to do is simply enter the tickers the dollar value or the percentage. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use the dollar value. And I'm also going to put in a ticker that our system is not going to recognize here to show you how we can map positions using our system as well. I'm simply going to save this file in CSV format. And then import it into our system. Now you'll notice our system has caught the position that does not have a valid ticker recognized in our system, and it's going to actually ask me to go ahead and map this position manually. Here what I have the ability to do is use our database to select an asset and manually map this position to that asset. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to map this unknown ticker to the S&P 500 as a proxy. I open up my assets and my asset classes. Everything here is in alphabetical order. I'm going to go ahead and select my S&P 500 reinvested. I'm going to save those changes and re-import the positions, and you notice my portfolio is entered here and has been imported. can now designate this a portfolio of investments and start to run our full gamut of reports on these positions. So really using the Excel import, as simple as clicking on New Hypothetical, clicking on the import icon, simply downloading the template you want to use, saving that in CSV format, and then importing it into the system. So what I've done is I went ahead and left the call on mute today due to the number of people on the call. If you have any questions, please go ahead and type them into the question dialog box, and I'll do my best to answer those as we go through the call here. And I do see one question coming across asking, can I do that if I'm exporting from a partner, i.e. e-money? So I'm guessing that question has to do with importing using the Excel import, and you can absolutely do that. It would be as simple as downloading our template, getting the position file from e-money, and then simply copying those tickers and dollar values over to our spreadsheet and importing. So really what I wanted to go over on the call today was simply importing using integration partners, steering you toward where to get more information on using our import partners, as well as using the Excel spreadsheet to import. So I've gone over all of that briefly. What I wanted to do is open it up for questions and see if anyone has questions on the specifics of importing using an integration partner or Excel. And I noticed one of the questions coming across is, can I import a return series? So yeah, you can absolutely do that as well. And we do host a training session on setting up user-defined positions. So I'm guessing when you're asking about a return series, that would be maybe for a custom product or product that's not in our database and setting that up. You can absolutely do that. That would be as simple as opening up the asset list and actually editing one of the positions or creating a new position. And I would be happy to review that with you on a one-on-one basis or send you a training video on that subject. Next question I see is, does the import need to be in CSV format? That it does. As you'll notice when you import or download any of these basic templates here, they're all going to be in CSV format, and you will be asked if you want to save the file once you make your edits to that file in that format. Please select yes for that. We do need all imports to be brought in a CSV format. I see another question coming across. Do you need initial authorization from your custodian before data integration is possible? In most cases, that is the case. You would need to reach out to the custodian or the integration partner. And in many cases, I believe you need to sign or release a release of information form with them. Or in other cases, simply let them know that you want to integrate with AdvisoryWorld so that they can go ahead and set your account up accordingly. Is data integration a manual process or is it automatic? So it would be manual in the sense that you would need to come in here, select the integration partner. Give me just 1 second to go back to my list page here. So each time you were importing client data over, let's say for example it happened to be from a Redtail, the data is not going to flow seamlessly over into Scanalytics. You would need to import the client accounts you're working with manually at that time. However, once you import that client data over, you should be good to go and work with that account or illustration. The Excel import would need to be manual, and as we walk through that, that would be kind of setting up the spreadsheet and pulling in the template into our system. However, any of the imports using the integration partners, be it Orion or Redtail, once you go ahead and set that up and you import the account over, you're all set. Okay, I also see another question coming across about recommended integration partners. So again, we have a full list of our integration partners. There's really not one I'd recommend over the other. It's whoever maybe you're working with currently or whoever you're comfortable with. This is our full list of integration partners here. As I said, to get any additional information with these integration partners, it would be as simple as clicking on them. And generally, you have a quick brochure as well as a setup guide here. And all of that is available on the AdvisoryWorld site through partnering and then integrated technology partners. See another question coming over about the proposal generator. Can't say I'm necessarily prepared to answer any questions about the proposal generator. I do believe that all of the integrations that you see that work with Scanalytics will in the future be working with the proposal generator as well. So that should be a seamless process and work just like Scanalytics here, from my understanding. Now again, today's call was relatively brief. I wanted to mainly point you in the direction of the integration partner imports, where to get more information on those integration partners, as well as doing a mock Excel import here. And I know the import I did was fairly simple. I'd be happy to work with imports with you folks on a one-on-one basis. As you're importing client accounts over, either from an integration partner or using Excel, reach out to myself or the support team here at AdvisoryWorld. We're always happy to help.